Well, hello everyone, it's Don once again. I'll leave the puppies on just a little bit. They've got different places they're hiding. Some are in front of the camera. There's another section off to the side. You can see the tail end of one going out to it. But they are getting big. The biggest one is about 10 pounds now. And Tuesday they will be 6 weeks old. So they are getting quite large. So let's go ahead and go live. All right, there we go. We are live now. Holy mackerel. And I got a bunch of questions here that people have sent me, but we'll start with Jerry Bell's questions. Are courtyard villas generally allowed stone in the front yard? Yes. You must get approval, though, through the ARC or through, if you're in district, which ones are in there now? District 14. It actually goes through the developer's rep. Wow. But yeah, so you can see the pups. Like I said, they're getting big. The littlest one is, jeepers, probably 6.5, 7 pounds. And the biggest one is right at 10 pounds. They're just growing like crazy. They're eating real food. They're eating everything that they can get their hands on or their little mouths on, including furniture, newspapers, you name it. Thank you, dear. All right. So, wow, we got 72 people on. Welcome, everybody. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Don Wiley. This is live Gold Wingnut, Gold Wingnut Live. If you've got questions, go ahead and, if you're on, just go ahead and type them in on the live chat, and I'll try and answer them. Otherwise, for right now, I got a whole stack here. I mean, there's probably 15 of them. As much as my Apple computer did not want to give up any information today, I know that there's a lot of Apple fans. I've invested a significant amount of my revenues for the last year in my Apple computers. And if you'd have talked to me 20 minutes ago, I'd have sold it all to you for 50 cents. They're just one little problem after another, and it just doesn't make sense. I've been using Windows computers since Windows version 1 beta, and I've never had the level of problems that I have like this. Steve wants to know, are there plans to widen the Florida Turnpike in the future? Yes. Florida Turnpike is being widened all the way from Orlando to I-75. Most of it to the southeast of us is either done or under construction. Sumter County is, I believe, next year or the year after, going to be widened to 4 lanes in each direction. Let's see. Victoria says, will Eastport be the last big thing for a while? So it's been my research that about every 10 to 12 years, they start a new town square. Right now, they've got Eastport and Middleton under construction. I would say it'll be another 10 years or so before they build the next one, which is about 3 miles due south of Eastport. If you would look on a map for the future of Sumter County, these roads, where, jeepers, which one is it? Not Marsh Bend Trail, McNeil, and I can't remember the other road, but McNeil Road, and maybe it's Barr. I don't remember exactly. They'll come together in an area about 3 miles south of Eastport, similar to what Morris and Buena Vista do around Lake Sumter Landing. But that's a good 10 years away. Let's see. Diane says, we have a cottage home. The front has gutters, but the back, we get a bath every time we go out in the rain. We have decided to gutter the whole house. Do you have to have approval from ARC? You know, that's a good question, because I didn't even think of that, because I just had hill gutters put on my house, my new investment property down in Moultrie Creek. I don't know if rain gutters require ARC approval, but it's something I'm going to look into tomorrow morning and have to submit if I do. I don't think it's a big deal. Anything you can tell us about commercial property at Morse and 44? Morse and 44. Nope, nothing at this point yet. They're still under negotiations, from what I understand, with that property. I have some sources that have confided in me, but until I find something written down, just like with Costco, I can't really say anymore. But it's still in the works. Let's see. If a designer home shares a property line with a patio villa, will there be a fence masking or making the property line? No. Patio villas and designer homes don't have fences. The only time you'd see that is if there was a veranda or a courtyard villa, or there's cottage villas now that they also do. So that would be the only time you would see a fence. Maiko says, Don, I noticed land clearing on the south side of 470 across from Denham Megason termination. Any word on what and when? Nothing yet. I haven't been down there in about 2 weeks, so I really can't say. I know that there's always some work going on down there, but it's hard to say what it could be. Brian says, why was yesterday's video a rerun from 2 months ago? Well, it was a rerun, Brian, but it wasn't. If you saw, it said members only, and it was in 4K, and there was also no commercials. I removed all the commercials that I put in from my sponsors, and I also turned off the YouTube advertising, so there was no commercials in there. And that was another test run I'm doing. I'm considering having a member service or a membership portal with my YouTube channel where you can get the videos then in 4K and without commercials, but it's going to be a pay service. It's just something I've been toying with for the last 9 months, but I'm still trying to figure out if it's viable. That was, again, just a test run. I wanted to run it for 24 hours to see what kind of viewing it got. The goal would be to make that content available and make it available a day or so early to then the Sunday view. The problem I have with that really is getting it all edited. I mean, it is a rush. Normally, Saturdays, I'm normally doing my voiceovers until 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, render it, and then get it posted on Sunday morning for a 3 p.m. broadcast. So that's it. That'll be coming down tonight after I see what kind of response it got. So Victoria says, how does the Villages keep everything / streets so clean? Well, there's a thing called the maintenance assessment. Other communities would use property tax. We use a maintenance assessment. The districts run additional services. For example, cutting the grass. If you look at the median on 44 or 301, if there's a median there, it's going to get cut once every other month. Here in the Villages, they get cut every week, sometimes twice a week in the summer, just depending on how much rain we get in that. that's just one of the many things that they do. The districts hire contractors to help maintain it, because that's what people desire. And honestly, what we get for our maintenance assessment, as low as it is really a great value. Mark wants to know, any idea why there are no cemeteries in the villages? Just curious. Actually, Mark, there is one. It's up by Lake Sumter Landing. There's a radio antenna near it. But that was an existing cemetery. It's not a business venture that the villages is interested in getting into. There's other cemeteries around. Florida National Cemetery is the biggest cemetery around. That's for military. And I think they do like 6 to 8 internments a day. It's incredible how much they do. Anyway, but no, it's just not something in their business model. Cheryl says, hi, I'm moving to the villages and want a pre-owned home. I have a non-villages realtor. Do I have to get a villages realtor to see properties listed by VLS? You absolutely do. MLS realtors can't show VLS properties, and villages agents can't show MLS listings. So yes, by all means, get yourself a realtor, an agent on both sides, and that's the only way you're going to see all the properties available. The only way. And I'm stumbling over my words because I had somebody obviously they were a realtor, got upset because I called the villager sales agents realtors. Well, I'm sorry. It's just, it's a term. Best example I can give is on a submarine. The man who's in charge of the ship is the captain. He might be a captain. He might be a commander. He's still called captain. Call it a realtor, if you will. The only people that get upset about that are those realtors. Anyway, let's see. Jim says there is a substantial amount of non-villages heavy truck traffic coming off 470 to the Turnpike via Central Parkway. That would be an issue for those homes adjacent to Central Parkway. Thoughts? Yes. Okay. For a long time, 470 was a bypass, and really the only way you could get from going north on the Turnpike to going south on Interstate 75. Because of that, people would always cut through. So the consensus is that 48, which is going through Center Hill, will be where the trucks start going as the traffic circles become more and more of a hindrance to them. And I will be honest with you, Wildwood Police Department has been really patrolling Central Parkway. I've come back 3 times in the last week from my investment property, and every time right in front of Eastport, there is Wildwood Police Department with a truck pulled over, issuing a ticket. Uh-oh, what's this? Oh no, puppies are laying in fresh, oops. Well, that's why they get baths frequently. All right, I apologize. Get sidetracked here. Let's see. Hi, Don. This is from Naperville Real Estate Life with Jill. What are the boundaries for Well Point? Wow, that was an interesting trick. They're hauling the dog dish around. Sorry. Puppies. Anyway, I believe the southern boundary is McNeil Drive, and it's going to go for everything north of McNeil Drive all the way down to the Saint-Tropez Recreation Center, I believe is going to be Wellpoint. What is the next village after Wellpoint? Man, I'm going to give you my best guess, Jill, and that's right now they're working on Shady Brook. I would say Water's Edge would be the next one after that. All right, let's see. Mary Kay wants to know, what is your opinion on the size of shopping and dining area in Eastport? The design looks small compared to the other squares. Do you think it is smaller? No, because they're taking a different approach. Right now, if you go to Brownwood, you go to Lake Sumter Landing, it's streets basically that face the square and some of the side streets. They're taking a slightly different approach, and they're doing a bunch of alleyways. I guess it's supposed to be something like a European style. So you'll be able to go through these alleys and get to more restaurants. That's what I've seen in what they've presented, and also some of the restaurants are going to be 2 stories. Sorry, I'm catching the pups out of the corner of my eye on the preview screen because it's the bigger screen, and they are really going after the puppy chow. Yeah. Anyway, so back to Eastport. I think it's going to be a comparable number of restaurants, maybe even more, just because that is a huge area. They really are putting a lot into that. The ability to have much larger events. Instead of being limited to the square, you're going to have the whole area around the lake, basically from one end of the hotel on the west end of the hotel, that'll go wrap all the way around to where the boat ramp is for the dragon boats. That's a huge area. Plus, they have the ability to block off the street. There's no street side parking on the waterfront road. So not only are you going to be partying at the little side on side of the water where the stage is, but people are going to be partying in the streets. Let's see. Jerry says, Don, the final stage of Richmond, any truth to designer and veranda homes only? Yes, I believe that to be truth. It's funny, the earlier question about reposting of video 137, I was watching that as part of my preps, and I had said, yeah, it's going to be verandas based on the lot size, and I forgot that. But yeah, it's just going to be verandas. I flew it this morning, and it's definitely laid out for verandas. You can see the lot lines. They are the wider lots, just like designer homes have. Let's see, RMO 214. RMO 214. Okay. Sorry. Things came back to my head, just the number. Anyway, thank you for all you do. Wondering, is there any new tracts of land purchased recently by the developer or their shell companies that are not listed on maps besides Mascot and 301-44? So there have been some new acquisitions south of what was previously shown on the map. The maps that Bill gives me, I continue to post them on my website, and they are showing some of the new acquisitions. Basically, they're moving closer to Center Hill. So they're going to continue to acquire land as long as people will continue to sell it to them. I know there's a lot of people that say the Villages has gotten too big. I always ask the question, when did it get too big? The day before you bought your house or the day after you bought your house? This is a product that that has a demand, and people are going to continue to buy it as long as they can. But yeah, they're going to continue to grow as much as they can. Somebody asked me a question today. I saw it on YouTube. How much bigger is the Villages going to get? Well, just looking at the amount of land they have, I've heard projections of 25 more years of building at 3,000 homes a year if they continue at the current rate, 3,000 to 4,000 homes. You're talking another 75,000 homes. It's going to double in size in the next 25 years. Hopefully, I will be around for that. I don't know that I'll be doing Gold Wingnut Live at that. But anyway, it's going to get bigger. Nancy says, we have a small Class B van. If we were to build a house in the new area, do you have any idea how difficult would it be to get approval to make the roof/garage slightly taller to accommodate the small van? That's a good question, Nancy. And it used to be, it wouldn't have been a problem. There are several homes, especially up in the north end, that have RV garages. And this is for the big Class A RVs. But as of late, they have not, in the design center, they're not doing that kind of stuff. Now, you may be able to purchase a lot and have an extension added onto the home after you build it. So, for example, if you buy a lot that's big enough to hold a 3-car garage, and you put a house with a 2-car garage, and you don't center it, but set it off to the side so you have the wide side area, then you could submit to ARC, and they could approve you building an extension, just like they approve putting on golf cart garages frequently. That would be probably the best route to go. Let's see. Mark Miller says, is the cell service good in the Villages? Any issues with specific carriers? I've been using Verizon the entire time I've been here. Never had a problem. I was just down in Middleton today and down in Moultrie Creek. Didn't have any problems with cell service. I was in Wellpoint. Didn't have any problems with cell service. I've had some cell problems. Where was that? In St. Catharines in the past, but I haven't really checked since in quite a while, so it's hard to say what it is. But generally, no problems with cell service. Steve wants to know: is there any covered RV storage in or near the Villages? Near the Villages, yes. In the Villages, not that I'm aware of. They have 2 RV parking areas at the north end. One is on El Camino Real, and the other is right off of Rolling Acres. Neither one of those are covered, but I believe on 44, across from Brownwood, there is some covered RV storage. And also, I believe there's covered RV storage now in, what's the name of the little town? Coleman. As you round the corner past Marsh Bench or past Warm Springs Avenue, heading west into Coleman on the left-hand side. John and Jane says, hi. Hi, Don. What are the main differences between the VHA and the POA? Whoa. Okay. So I will tell you that there is a completely different mindset between the members and the leadership. I believe that both serve a good purpose. The general consensus that I've heard is is, for the VHA, the developer can do no wrong, and for the POA, the developer can do no right. There is a very strong bias towards those two positions in both groups. But it's not 100% of the membership feel that way. They both have their purposes. When I moved here, I joined both. I was a member of both for a while. VHA, they made it easy. I bought a life membership. POA, it's been renewal. Nothing against them. I just have decided not to renew. And honestly, probably would have not renewed my VHA just to become less biased, or the appearance of less bias. Not wanting to take sides on either way as a county commissioner. All right, Greg says, if you flew Richmond, any news you can share before the next video, any foundations or any other activities? Yeah, there is some activities in the veranda section, the northern section. The underground utility stub-ups are there. You can see the orange interduct coming up for the fiber optics. You can see the gas lines coming up and the stub-ups for the electrical in those lots. So, yeah, that's what I can share. That's what I saw today. The other thing I saw today, and I'll bring it out during my video, is they've extended, most people know if you've watched my videos in the past, they've extended the walking path that starts at Okahumpka up to Warm Springs, or Buena Vista. It crosses Buena Vista and then continues on. It now runs all the way up to the intersection, and it looks like it's going to continue. So you'll be able to walk all that way up to Brownwood based on where the walking path is right now. Let's see. Dave says, hi, Don. Would both Wellpoint and Water's Edge be worked at the same time, or would Water's Edge wait until after Wellpoint is done? So I will tell you that in Wellpoint, they're building houses, they're building patio villas, they're building cottage homes, and they're still building the recreation area. When you go down to Water's Edge, the postal station and pool is a lot farther along. I believe they're going to be doing homes in both. I think right now their focus is on Shady Brook, and it's coming along very quickly. Lots of progress there. All right. Let's see. Puppies are crazy. This is the last litter. If somebody's interested in a puppy, please feel free to contact me. You can email me. You can call my phone number. It's on my website. It's on my videos. We're looking to sell them. Right now we have 3 of them that are sold. We have 5 boys? Yeah, 5 boys and 2 girls left. They are AKC Golden Retrievers. They'll have their paperwork that you can file if you want to go ahead and register them. As a litter, they are registered. And we're not making any money on this. We're covering our expenses, and the rest is being donated to Joshua's house over in Lecanto. It's a rescue and sanctuary for Golden Retrievers. Mid-Florida Golden Retriever Rescue is getting 1/3 of it, and Hope Service Dogs, who have been the ladies there have been phenomenal. They really helped a lot with this litter of pups, so I decided to make a donation to them also. But yeah, minimum $1,000 a pup is going to these three charities. If our expenses are less than we anticipate, more will go. If our expenses are more, it's still going to be $1,000 a pup. I'm going to make up the difference because I think these charities are worthwhile. I know people say you should take and get a rescue, and I agree. Rescues are definitely the way to go. My first golden retriever, Bo, sorry, I missed him greatly. He was a rescue. Memphis area golden retriever rescue, which is now closed down. The lady there retired who was running it. He was a great dog. But not everybody wants a rescue. Not everybody, sometimes they come with problems and issues that are more than people want to deal with. Same thing with going to the county animal shelter. Great choice. Again, it's not for everybody. Some people want a puppy. There is a certain amount of joy that goes, no, that's an understatement. There's a huge amount of joy that goes with raising a puppy. And we've done it 4 times now with our golden retrievers after we got Bo. I wouldn't trade the experience for the world. And, watching the last litter grow up has been a blast. And I hope to watch all of them on this litter. All right. So no questions coming through right now. We've got 176 people on. Wow. Thank you, man. And this is great. It just keeps growing and growing. I'm glad to see you all here. Ronald says, would it be possible on the map of the villages to show a compass shown? This would help in picking a home to avoid having the sun where you don't want it. So, Ron, I already put a compass normally up in the upper right corner. And then as far as the map, it's always, north up. The map that I put on the screen in the lower left corner is always north up. All right. Let's see. Steve says, hello, Don. Curious as to the tree clearing on the south side of 470 between the treatment plant and Megason. Any insights on the activity there? Again, we answered this earlier on, Steve. No idea what's going on. I know that there is some upgrades that are supposed to be done to the wastewater treatment plant. That could be what it is. Let's see. I got one here from Paul Jacobson. All right. Let's see. It says, hi, Don. Can designer homes being built now be plumbed for instant hot water circulation system, either at the time of build or afterwards? We had asked the developer 2 years ago if it was possible, and they said no. 6 months ago, an owner in the enclave had mentioned in a YouTube video that they would do it, but they never heard the results. Is the developer installing them? So on that one, I know that they put them in. There are 2 different of these flash hot water heaters that they use, and I've seen them in the houses I take pictures of. Victoria, thank you so much for your generosity. I really appreciate it. Wow, very generous. Anyway, so they do instant on hot water heaters. If you want one and you've already got your house built, I know that Mike Scott Plumbing does them. You can call over to their office. Sam and Sean are great folks. They do lots of great work, both for new construction as well as aftermarket. And okay, they are personal friends of mine. All right. Anyway, Paul continues on. We have to run the hot water in our master and guest bathrooms 2 to 3 minutes to get hot water. Meanwhile, the villagers tells us to conserve water. Yeah. I got to do it too. I got a hot water heater. My only concern with the instant-on hot water, with these flash hot water heaters, and then having an instant-on hot water heater or instant hot water system, is how much your gas you're going to be using. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I know that I timed in my new house and my current house how long it takes to get hot water. It's a little farther in the investment property that I bought from the instant-on hot water heater, or from the flash hot water heater, than it is from the hot water heater that's in my garage to my other kitchen. There was 10 seconds difference in time. It took 10 seconds longer than my current home, my courtyard villa, for the new house to get hot water at the kitchen sink. So I don't think it's a big deal myself. All right, we got some new stuff coming in. Let's see. Jim says, do you expect homes in Wellpoint, south of McNeil Drive, to develop soon, or will the golf course need to be developed first? The house in Wellpoint. So they are building houses now in Wellpoint. The championship course is at least a year away. I drove down McNeil today. I saw where they were building the Wellpoint postal station and also right near it is the halfway house for one of the nines on that golf course. But you could see the outline of the greens and some of the traps and that court. The houses are going to be there before that golf course is. But the other golf courses should be open hopefully this fall for Live Oak and Laurel Oak, and don't forget you got the other ones around. Let's see. Jim says, hi Don, any idea when Edenfield might be in the mix for new villages? Mix of new villages? No. I drove by there today. They were just putting in, or they just started putting in the deep utilities, the storm drains. So it's going to be a while. The camera is jiggling in the puppies. Something tells me somebody's trying to eat my cell phone, because this is my cell phone camera that's shooting this. All right. Oh, I love this next one. So David Mullen says, if your opponent prevails in your upcoming election, will that move up your plans to move to your new home in Moultrie Creek? Yes, absolutely it will. Just there would be no more reason to that would be holding me back from moving there. And Debbie likes the new house. This house, there is some history here. Our son David, who passed away just over 2 years ago, he passed away in this house, and it's a very difficult memory to live with for both Debbie and I. That wasn't a driving factor, but it is something that we deal with on a daily basis. Let's see. With the new update, the chips in the mirrors that work. Oh, okay. So this is a good one. And this is where I have a great amount of expertise. With the new upgrade, and they're talking about the card access system for the gates, the chips in the mirrors that were cloned off current and valid cards after the gates were officially updated started yesterday. Started officially updated starting yesterday. So yes, I know what you're asking. Will they work? All right. I know this technology inside and out. I was in construction for nearly 20 years. I was a project manager. I was a design engineer. I was a sales rep. I put in card access systems in places like the Internal Revenue Service in Memphis, the FedEx Forum, where the Memphis Grizzlies play. I designed the access control system there. Broward County Courthouse, a 22-story courthouse that was built about 10 years ago. I did a card access system on the Florida Turnpike. I know this technology inside and out. They use an HID prox card. I got a prox card reader still. If that card is cloned accurately, which there's no reason to suspect that it's not, then there is no way to tell the cloned cards from the real cards. It's a number that is sent back to the reader when it's flashed by the reader, and a number is a number. If the number is 23, then the clone says 23, the real card says 23. There is no way for that card reader to tell the difference. They're using an HID MaxiProx card reader. That is a industry standard card reader that's used for long range reads, and it should work. I don't know of anything that would stop it. I mean, there's stop bits in there, there's parity bits, there is a checksum, there's a facility code, there's an issue level, but again, all of that gets encoded in the 26 or 34 or 37-bit coding stream. Anyway, only time it will not work if cloned card or chip were copied off the card. That was yeah. If the card has been deactivated, if the original card has been deactivated, the cloned one won't work. Exactly right. Laser barcode scanners. So, Steve, that's a great question about using laser barcode scanners. Here's the problem. They're about $1,000 a piece. And you've got about 100 or so gates that have got these readers. You're talking a lot of money, plus reissuing the credentials. Logistically, it's a very big, very expensive thing to do. It would be cost prohibitive at this point. They're vested in this technology, and they're continuing to work with it. Is it feasible? Oh, absolutely feasible, because whether it's an HID MaxiProx reader, which is the big ones, the 11 by 11 readers that they see at all the gates, or a barcode reader, it's all the data is encoded in what's called a Wiegand format, and it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. I've installed laser barcode readers, prox card readers, what you call it? What do they call that? Bionics? No, not bionics. Retinal scanners, fingerprint scanners, they all use a Wiegand format. They all generate a number that's equivalent to a badge. And it's a straightforward technology. There's not much that can be done. And yes, you're right. If you replace your gate cards, then you have to have the chip redone or cloned, because it won't work anymore. Wow. Okay, wow. We are at 45 minutes into this. Will says, Don, looking for a new home in a low tax area. Can you tell us what new residential areas down south are still within an unincorporated Sumter County, and if not subject to other outside higher taxes such as Leesburg, Wildwood, and Fruitland Park? None. That's pretty simple. Biometrics. Thank you, John and Jane. Biometrics. I knew the word out there. Sometimes this just turns off. Anyway, let's see. Kathy says, always a great show. When do you think they'll be building homes in Waldport? Oh, they're building now, Kathy. They started about 3 weeks ago, and lots of good progress has been made. But anyway, all of the new area, all the way down, except for the Mascot property, and is in Wildwood. And also the old Secret Promise property, which is in Lake County, that's in Leesburg. But other than that, it's not going to be outside of the city limits. So you're not going to find anything. You're going to have to buy a resale. Ron Robinson says, have any long-range plans for roads been announced for the areas south of 470 on both sides of the turnpike? Related, any updates to 470 widening replacement in conjunction with turnpike widening? And 3 is, what bridges in Sumter Lake counties will need to be replaced for turnpike widening? 3 good questions. So yes, if you look at the county long-range plan, my wife is bringing me something here. Let me see this here. Oh my gosh, look at this puppy here. Who is this? Oh, this is Happy.
Not Lucky.
Lucky, excuse me. He was the 7th puppy born, and he was born at 1313, and he had a slate green tinge to him, so he got the name Lucky. He's a cutie too. Look at that face. Yeah, this is one of the ones that's going home already. All right. So yes, the county road plan. There's 2 roads that go all the way down to 470. There's a plan to also bring Marsh Bend Trail into Lake County. Beyond that, nothing really has been come out yet. No plans have come out yet on the 470 widening. It is though definitely in the works. And which bridges will have to be replaced? I don't know. Possibly the southernmost bridge on Warm Springs Avenue that goes over the turnpike. Hey guy. Hey. You gonna look here? Look at that face. Look at that face. He's one of the smaller ones, and he's also one of the lighter ones. Thor, his older brother, first one born, he's a beast. He's the largest. He's about 10 pounds right now. Debbie, can you come get Lucky? All right. Go to the next page. All right. Stop. Thank you. Oh my gosh, he's a beast. All right. Kathy says, always a great show. When will they be building designer homes in Wellpoint? That could start any time now. Once they start moving, it is a very fast pace. So, this summer, definitely. This summer, that's 3 weeks away. Any further discussions on the UF Wellness Village? So, Brian, as far as I know, University of Florida is out. The teaching and research hospital is not going to happen, but I know that they are negotiating, trying to get somebody else in. My sources aren't telling me who, other than they are negotiating. Let's see. James says the developer has a lot of large projects going now with Middleton and Eastport, with not a lot of income from any of them. Also, lots of unsold houses. If the housing market tanks for several years, are you confident they will not go under? And he also wants to know who pays the bond on the unsold homes. I'm pretty confident they're not going to go under. The housing market tanked in 2008. right after I bought my last house down in Haines City, it tanked. I lost my shirt. Really bad. Anyway, but here they still continue to grow. They still continued during '08, the housing downturn. Yes, things slowed down a little bit, but not so bad. Having houses left over in Dabney, that's fairly normal when they shift locations for something like that to happen. I'm not too worried at all. Who pays the bond on unsold houses? The developer does. The developer pays the bond. Now, when you close, there's a proration on the bond for that year. So, for example, when I closed on my investment property, that was in May, I think they paid, 4.5 months? And I paid the other half. What is that, 7.5 months. All right. Okay, we got some new messages here. Let's see. I heard, here we go. I heard there are 1,700 active listings for houses for sale. Possibly. I mean, I don't know the exact count. That's certainly not that many new homes, but that would include resales. There's always lots of resales. And there's always a big surge in resales in new areas at the 1 to 2 year point when people can change their mind, decide that maybe the Villages isn't for them. Maybe the house is too small. Maybe the house is too big. This is part of how that myth about people go through 3 houses here in the Villages. I know a few people that have been through 3. I know a couple that are on 6 and 7. One of my customers, I think, was on number 8 in 5 years. It just is what it is. Let's see. Gregor says, I know courtyard villas and verandas are all spec homes, but you can get custom designers. Do they build spec designers too, or do they not build a designer until someone buys the lot and gets custom? So looking at the lots, about 30%, just depends on the area, are custom builds. The rest are spec homes. So, yeah. All right. Joe says, I missed a question. Okay. I'll go back and look for it. Hang on just a second. Is there a Golden Retriever Club in the Villages? Yes, there is. There is a Golden Retriever Club. You missed my question regarding the villas at Henda Hills. All right. Here we go. When will they... I found it here. Okay. It was 6 minutes ago. When will the building of the villas at Henda Hills begin? Well, they've started clearing. I shot that yesterday. They're not obviously they haven't started the houses yet. They're doing the underground utilities. That's going to be a little more difficult of an area to build, just because of, I want to say, access, and the fact that it's one small area. They're building 25 houses, whereas, down in Well Point, they've got 40 houses under construction already, and they have a lot more ease of room. People aren't, the workers don't have to drive all the way there. They all go to the same location. All right. Yeah, Crystal C said, so how much larger is the Villages going to be? As big as they want. Crystal Lee sent me a great one. I love this one. And this is about Crystal Lagoons. Can you do a status on the proposed Crystal Lagoons very large acreage pool recreation business that they mentioned they were planning on coming to the Villages? Where exactly at? It ain't coming here. It's that simple. So you have to understand what Crystal Lagoons is. Part of it is a it's a heat sink for an energy plant. So if you have like a large shopping mall that has a massive air conditioning system, or a data center, or maybe a hospital complex, then they use this as a heat sink for the air conditioning system. And that's how they heat the water. And that's how they sell it to these companies. There is no heat sink or heat source that big here. Also, you're talking a couple hundred acres. Developers not giving up that much acreage. No way. I talked to some folks I know at the villages, and they laughed. Typically a company like this will say, this is our target list, and they'll make it sound like this is all the places they're going. And that's what I've looked at Crystal Lagoon's website. I've read through it. I've seen these kind of things before. It's not coming here. All right. Okay, Crystal Lee again says, Gold Wingnut probably from, okay, they want to know about doing a then and now for like the Brownwood area. Possibly. I got to look into it. All right. Here we go. I'm confused on if I buy a custom lot, can I choose or to build any style home, such as a veranda style, or do they dictate what style home can be built on a custom lot? On a custom lot, you build designer or premier homes. You don't build veranda homes. The difference between a veranda and a designer is it's got a fenced-in yard. That's the difference between a veranda and a designer. I have a Hillsdale that is my investment property. It's also now known as a Dove. It used to be known as a Mossy Oak in the designer series. Same floor plan, minor tweaks here and there, but the big difference is I have a fenced-in yard. All right. This is one, I saw this come in today, and I figured it's worth talking about. What is being done about all the outside labor contractors using the pool bathrooms? I was at the pool, and within 20 minutes, there were at least 5 to 10 guys coming in to use the bathroom and making a mess. We are new to the villages, and we don't like this one bit. Where would you have them go? I mean, these are guys that are working in our community, that are cutting the grass, doing landscaping. These are public restrooms. And that's the bottom line. They're public restrooms. And under Florida law, you can't stop them from using a public restroom. But again, would you have them urinating on the side of the road? Because that's the option, really. Give these guys a break. They're out here in the hot sun. They shouldn't make a mess out of the bathroom. And it's been my experience that they don't generally. You might have had some careless people there, and I apologize for that. But generally, they're very good about not making a mess. All right. Jeff Sanderson said, our lifestyle visit is the week of 6/17. Do you recommend the Villages Map app? Yes. We enjoy your very informative video. Thank you. Get the Villages app. That's going to have great maps, and you can see where all the new areas are that have maps. Let's see. So Jim says, are you flying next week around the Saluki Recreation Center? I'll probably be doing it tomorrow. They are opening on Thursday. Okay. Let's see. Any idea what's going on the open area on the south side of Dabney? No, nothing yet. It's just commercial. That's all I know. Steve Rice wants to know any ideas what's going on with BurgerFi at Beaumont. I know it's still coming, but beyond that, I haven't heard anything. Big Wheel wants to know, nice videos. Have you heard any updates on the Costco build-out? Nope. Lots of silence. Yeah. Oh, wow. We got 203 viewers. Wow. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. I mean, this is great. This is a new high, and it's great. I'm getting high on the high. No. Anyway, Aurora Knight says, it's terrible that a fire department goes in right next to those expensive courtyard villas. The Villages has depreciated those homes by this decision. Why I'd buy pre-owned. Okay. I live less than half a mile from Station 45, which is right across the street from Eisenhower. I don't consider it a negative. It doesn't impact your home value in a negative way. If anything, it probably makes it positive because you are so close to the fire station. I don't see it as a negative at all. And Lori Thompson says, I don't understand the need for all these fire stations. The cost far outweighs the need, in my opinion. You rarely hear of a fire. You're right. Over 90% of the calls that they get, that they respond to, are medically related here in the Villages. Their goal is to have a fire station a house no farther than 2.5 miles from a fire station. That's why we have a really great rating for insurance. And, are they necessary? I think they are. Mark Edwards, I wanted to get some of these. Mark Edwards says, for veranda homes on a corner lot, who maintains the landscaping outside the wall, i.e. the palms, grass, and bushes? Who paints the walls when it's time? You own the inside of the wall to paint. On the outside of the wall, it belongs to the Community Development District. Community Development District maintains all the landscaping outside the walls of both verandas and courtyard villas. Greg R. says, yeah, I broke 20,000 subscribers last week. I was grateful. It's really great. Again, be sure everybody hit the like button. That's great. Jerry wants to know, what's the best GPS app for use for accuracy when traveling within the Villages? Well, probably the most up-to-date is the Villages GPS map. Waze is always pretty good also. Paul says, closing next week with a pond behind our new home in Moultrie Creek. Oh, congratulations, Paul. The pond is pretty dirty. Do you know who is responsible to clean it? Would I get in trouble if I do it myself behind my lot? Yes, you're not allowed back there. Read your deed restrictions. You're not allowed there. But the district, the Community Development District, in this case CDD 15, is responsible for it. It takes a couple of months for, if you're talking about the water being dirty, it takes a couple of months for the water to clear. If you're talking about rubbish, they are usually pretty good about picking up the trash. If it's trash back there, call the Village's support line and tell them that there's garbage that needs to be done. Let's see. Okay, we talked about that one. Hal Schwartz says, flying over to high school athletic fields, there appear to be 2 football fields and 2 baseball fields. Is that my imagination? No, it is not your imagination. Both the practice field, they have 2 football fields, and they are both the the artificial turf. The grass itself looks to be about 1 inch tall, but with talking with some of the folks when I went through my tour of the high school, it's actually about 6 inches thick, and there's a bunch of like beads that are put in there to make it feel like regular dirt. It's pretty amazing. Same thing with the softball and baseball fields. Yeah, there are multiple. Let's see. Kim Brown says, hi, Don. What power electric company do you have your investment property? It's Seco, Sumter Electric Company. And same one as my other house. Let's see. I love this one. Golf Nut is the individual's name. Not that they need another bank, but what are the chances we get a Navy Federal Credit Union branch? Man, I wish. I have Navy Federal Credit Union. I was in the Navy for 20 years, and it would be great. Right now, I think the nearest branch is down in Orlando. But I don't know, probably pretty slim. All right. And Tammy Ferguson says, it's a positive to live next to a fire station. Your homeowner's insurance will be discounted. Yep, great. So this is the last one I want to get to, then we're going to call it a day. I hear that if a resident sells their new home within 1 year, the developer gets any profit. My question is it the net profit after all the expenses and upgrades paid by the homeowner in that first year? So yes, you can, let's say you bought a house for $500,000, and you put in $100,000 worth of upgrades, maybe a swimming pool, and you sold the house within a year for $600,000. Okay, then you're good. Okay, let's say you sold it for $700,000 though within that first year. That goes to the developer, and they do that. They have that in their sales clause. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it when I signed my contract because it wasn't a concern to me. But they do that to stop people from flipping houses. And I think it's a good thing. But anyway, so hey, we are at an hour and 7 minutes on this show. I really, wow, we got 209 people watching. You know, if there's any last minute questions, go ahead and pop them in. We'll stay on for another 3 or 4 minutes. But then we're going to call it a day. I have some steaks I need to cook on the grill today. Oh, well, thank you, Danny. And wow, Patty, you know, again, thanks everyone for tuning in. I try and, give you good information, answer your questions. Hey, don't forget, if you look on the screen, it says Elect Don Wiley. That's my re-election website. You know, there's some information about me on there. If you want to make a donation to the campaign, that would be great too. I got a tough couple of months coming up. Lots of things to do. I missed a question here. Hey, Don, are the multimodal paths public or private in the villages? Are they public or private? Well, they're owned by the district government, so that would make them public, but they are not open to outside traffic. What does that mean? They're not connected to non-villages parts of Wildwood or Leesburg or any other community. There is a couple of back roads up in the historic district that they've tried to close down over the years. But other than that, they're public, but it is definitely not open to the public. Anybody, if you're living here in the villages, go for it. They're all open. But if you don't live in the villages, you're going to have a hard time getting to them. All right. What else? Anybody else? Let's see. John Alexander says, when they say concrete block construction, does that mean for interior walls? Good luck with the stakes. Okay. No, concrete block, or commonly referred to as cinder block or CMU, concrete masonry unit. They're talking about the exterior walls. The interior walls are framed either in wood or with steel framing. The big difference between using whether they use wood or the steel frames is if it's just a basic wall, then it's going to be the steel framing because it's easier to work with. But if they have to have any architectural features, any load bearing, so maybe cabinets, or maybe you want them to put a piece of OSB up for your television, then that's going to be wood. If there's any kind of architectural features, archways, things like that, that's all going to be wood. let's see. All right. Okay, so we're coming up on 410. Let's take a couple of others. Oh, yeah. Rod Public says, failed Hacienda Country Club. How so? Hacienda Hills Country Club suffered greatly. Its many of the last years that it was open, much like Katie Bell's did. A lot of people would go in, order an iced tea, a water, and sit and enjoy the free air conditioning. Doesn't help the workers, doesn't help pay the bills. And they had a lot of that with Hacienda Hills. I also heard a report that the pool, which was part of the, what do they call that? The upgraded to, for the championship courses. Those were supposed to be basically private pools for only the upgrade members. But well over 90% of the utilization in that pool was non-members, and apparently it had also the highest maintenance cost of any pool in the villages because of the amount of usage, and a lot of people would bring in their own drinks and snacks and not buy from the country club. So yeah, it really hurt business, and they finally had to cut their losses. All right. Mary K. Moore says, when do you plan on posting your next drone video? Good question. Sunday, 3 p.m. Next Sunday, the next video will be out. God willing, and the creek don't rise. That's the plan every week. Either it's a live show or it's a new video with a live show immediately following the premiere. And I have got it scheduled right now for every 2 weeks, with the exception being right there around Christmas, because I'm going to be on a cruise ship for Christmas. So I'm not doing a video. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining. It's been my pleasure to do this. Be sure to join me next Sunday at 3 p.m. where the next video will be premiering. I'm going to go shoot some more video tomorrow and start my editing. I shot a bunch today. Enjoy life. We're only here for a short time, and we are blessed if you're living here in the villages or considering living in the villages. It's a wonderful place to be. It's not for everybody, and it's not perfect. But you can, if you make the best of it, it's a pretty great way to spend your retirement. Thanks, everyone. We'll shift over to the puppies now. And of course, the puppies are all asleep. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Oh, David says, is your chair comfortable? Where did you get it from, and is it costly? I got it, my chair. I'll show it to you real quick. It's Alienware. That means I bought it from Dell. I bought, it was, I want to say it was like $300. It is very comfortable. It's very solid. I bought it because, like many things, the gaming industry is very hard on things. My keyboards are gaming keyboards. My mouse are gaming mouses. My chair's a gaming chair. I don't game. I don't play video games, but the equipment is good, so that's why I buy it. Anyway, let's see. Lisa says, we just bought a lot in Shady Brook behind the rec center. How long do you think golf cart ride is to Eastport from the Shady Brook rec center? 5 minutes. It's really, really close. Let's see. Karen says, what is being built on the land behind the enclave near the lake? I don't know of anything being built. Maybe they're limited on what they can build there because of the Navy installation out there, and also it's all wetlands. It's a protected area, so maybe it's a homeowner that's building a new house or something beyond that. I don't know of anything. Okay, and the pups are sound asleep. All right, folks, I'm going to drop off now. Thank you all again for joining, and we'll do this again next week.